Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another EDC unboxing gear review. And today's product is going to be the Wuben T1 Tactical Flashlight. And yes, I do a lot of these flashlight unboxing and tabletop review videos. A lot of companies send me flashlights to take a look at. And maybe it's because they know a lot of gun people are really into EDC gear. I know I am myself. I got a bunch of knives and a bunch of flashlights. And sometimes I know, especially when it comes to EDC gear, we can be really picky. We like our particular brands. But I'm glad that these different companies that maybe some of you are not familiar with send me products. I have actually reviewed another product from this company that I actually really liked and gave it a lot of high marks, and that is the Wuben Gecko. And this is an EDC pen. It's a pen, it's a stylus, it's a light, it's an SOS signaling device. There's a whole bunch of things that this thing can do. I am really impressed with all the functionality of this pen. Now, this is made by the same company, and it's supposed to be a tactical flashlight with 2,000 lumens. So I'm assuming it's pretty big, and we'll go over all the specs here in just a moment, but let me unbox this. So let me adjust the camera, and let's see what's inside. Alright, so you guys will have to ignore my messy workbench here, but here is the box this particular flashlight comes in. Very attractive packaging, seems to be well constructed, so hopefully the item inside is going to be high quality. Now, I am going to compare this to two other flashlights. Here I have the Phoenix or the Fenix TK16. I know this is kind of a popular flashlight right now. A lot of reviewers have done videos on that. And I have an Olight Warrior 3. And this one right here is just in a mount for a tactical rifle. But I want to compare the beams and the size to those two particular flashlights that you guys might be familiar with. All right, so let's go ahead and open this box up. So we get the owner's manual, obviously a charging cable, some type of lanyard. That's kind of cool, kind of looks like paracord. I don't think it is paracord, but it's kind of camo. I like that a lot. Then we get the light itself. That's a big boy. Wow, that's one of the biggest tactical flashlights I have ever seen. And there's a lot of machining on that tube. Very, very impressive. All right, let's see if there's anything else in here. I don't think that there is. All right, so let's get everything there off to the side. And let's take a look here at this light. Man, this thing is big. First thing I want to talk about is its size. So here's the Phoenix or the Fenix TK16. This obviously is a lot bigger. The T1 is a big boy. And here's the Olight Warrior 3. So you guys can kind of get a size comparison there. I really wasn't expecting the emitter to be so big, but that could be really nice for tactical applications. And I like how the bezel is crowned, just like the other lights are. So you could potentially use this as some type of melee weapon in a last-ditch effort to defend yourself. It has a big old clip here. All right, so let's see what this warning label says. It says, please remove the battery insulation sheet before using. All right, so let's go ahead, peel this off. And I'm going to assume this unscrews, and yes, it does. All right, so we got a little shield here on the back. That's gone. Let's take a look at this battery here. It is an 18650 3100 milliamp battery. It's branded Wuben. Now, the one thing about a lot of these tactical flashlights I'm not a big fan of is that they have uncommon batteries, or uncommon batteries for me. Every time I say that, people in the comments always tell me how stupid I am because these are the world's most common batteries. They're everywhere. Well, I just don't personally see them, but that's the battery this particular light uses. Let's go ahead and screw this back on. Now, I have not read the instruction manual, so I'm assuming I will figure out how to use this. All right, so it just came on right there. And very interesting that this thing has a different type of switch on it. Oh, that's really cool. I have never seen a flashlight that has a push button in the back, but you can flip up and down with the lever. That is really cool. So I guess if I push it on, it goes to whatever the last setting was. I can go up all the way to, I guess, turbo, and all the way down to low. That is really cool. I like that control more than just about any other flashlight. The one thing about many of these tactical flashlights I don't like is you have to memorize the order. You have to push the button either 2 or 3 times to a certain setting, or you have to hold it down, and each one can be a little bit different. This one is very, very intuitive. All right, so let's see where the charging port is here on this one. I don't see it, so I may have to look at the owner's manual for that one. I don't see the charging port. Maybe I have to take it off or something. All right, so I'll take a look at the owner's manual for that, but let's go ahead and look at the specs here. Now, according to the back of the box, we have 2 different battery types here. It says if it's a 18650, which is the battery inside, it has certain settings. And then if you use a CR123, so maybe you can stack those in this light and it does exactly the same thing. But it says here on high, you would have 1 minute plus 1.5 hours at between 2,000 and 700 lumens. At medium, it's 550 lumens for 2.5 hours. Low is 130 lumens for 10 hours. Eco is 5 lumens at 100 hours. And then we have strobe and SOS. And strobe is at 2,000 lumens and SOS is at 150. Now, I guess if you use the CR123, you can only use it on medium and eco. And I guess that's the only differences between the two. They just have lines, so maybe everything else is the same, but I don't have any CR123 batteries on hand to test that out. We're just going to use the one that they provide. But that's the specs that they have here on the box. But let's take a closer look here at this particular light. As you can see, it has a lot of machining on the tube. It really does look extremely tactical. That is a really cool looking light with that extremely large bezel. This might be the coolest looking flashlight that I personally own. All right, so I'm now going to turn off the lights here in the garage and I'm going to compare the beams to the Phoenix TK16 and the Olight Warrior 3 and see how this thing matches up. All right, so I have the camera pointed to the little alcove that's in the back of my garage, and I know some people complain about this, that I'm not doing these tests outside. Well, I'm filming during the day, and this is about the best that I can do. But I also think that since this is inside, it's close quarters, this is the exact way that this flashlight was designed to be used in close quarters combat. So let me go ahead and turn off the light, and we'll see what the beam looks like. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and push in the button, and this should be the low setting. This flashlight does have a very centered hotspot and a very large halo of spill. I know that doesn't always come across on the camera. It's just very difficult for these cameras to pick up on that precision of light, but it's pretty good. So it's very centered, which is what I would want for a tactical flashlight. Let's go up a setting, and it gets a lot brighter. I guess this is the low, and then we're going to go to the high. And as we go higher, I have to say that this is a little bit more of a yellow light than a white light. It's definitely lighting up the garage. The spill and the halo is pretty big, but it is pretty directional. And then I believe the next setting should be the highest, and that is really, really bright. And I think absolutely perfect for a tactical flashlight. I mean, this is a very directional light. There's not really a lot of other light filling up the garage. Maybe you can see on the side of that camera there that there's still a lot of darkness over in this area. So it's a very directional beam. And for a tactical flashlight, that is exactly what I would want. All right, so let me turn this off. And now we're gonna move on to the Phoenix flashlight, compare the beams here. And there is the Phoenix or the Phoenix. This hotspot is definitely bigger and fills up a lot more of the garage, as you can probably see on the right-hand side of the screen there. Still pretty directional, and this is a pretty common flashlight. Very bright, has a lot of power. I would have to say that the Wuben is brighter to my eyes. I don't have any device here to actually read how bright the light is specifically. I can only go by what the manufacturers claim, but to my eyes, the Wuben is brighter and more directional. And now we're going to move to the Olight Warrior 3. So there's the Phoenix off, and there's the Olight. And this is definitely brighter. Now, as you can see, there's a lot more spill. This thing definitely fills up the room a lot more. You can see on the right and the left, it just fills up the garage. So this is a little bit more of an omnidirectional light. And the light on the O-Light is definitely a bright white, where the Wuben is yellow. But the thing I like about the Wuben in a tactical situation is that it is much more directional. So let me go back to the Wuben one more time so you guys can see it once more. And there we go. I am looking behind the camera here and I can definitely tell a difference in the color, so hopefully you guys can as well. So around the halo and the spill, you can actually see a very defined line between the light and the dark, and the other flashlights do not have that. So as I said, I think if you're looking at the side of this flashlight in some type of tactical application, maybe if you have potential enemies or targets on the side of you, they won't be able to actually see where the light is coming from. But that is only speculative on my part. This is just a very directional light. It's very bright, and I love the hotspot of it. So that is what I think is perfect about it when it comes to its tactical application. All right, so let me turn the light back on. I'll give you guys my final thoughts and impressions. All right, so what are my final thoughts when it comes to the T1 Tactical Flashlight by Wuben? Well, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with its beam. I like how directional it is. I like that for tactical flashlights, but for general purpose flashlights, I like them to have a little bit wider of a beam. So for what it's designed for, I think it's pretty nice. I did find out where the charging port is, and that is underneath a little ring that unscrews off, which protects water from getting in there because there are O-rings, and the little charging port is right there. See if I can get that into focus, hopefully. There it is. So I like that a lot. Keeps water from the internals. And I do have to say, from an aesthetic standpoint, this is a really attractive flashlight. Lots of serrations, lots of grooves on it. A lot of machining went into this. And so I think if you're using gloves or your bare hands, it'd be perfect. This might be a little bit too big for my personal taste, but I know a lot of people in tactical situations would probably want something as robust as this. But my favorite feature of this is the intuitive switch. I really like how you push it in to turn it on and can flip up and down just by a lever. I like that a lot better than having to figure out, oh yeah, you push the button 2 or 3 times and you can overdo it and so forth, or hold it down for a certain length of time and then miss your setting. I like this switch a lot. So on my star system, how would I rate the T1 Tactical Flashlight by Wuben? Well, I have to say I'm going to give it 4.5 stars out of 5. The only reason I'm going to deduct any points is just because of its size. I wish it was just a little bit smaller. I personally think that the Phoenix TK16 is about the perfect size for most civilian applications. But as I said, it's only a small gripe, but this thing is really nice. It is really robust. Now, I always give you guys the terms of any review. This company, Wuben, did send this in for review. So I did receive this flashlight for free. So you guys can decide, did that affect my review? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I will also tell you that they also provided me with a code for you guys. If you guys are interested in their products, and more specifically the T1 Tactical Flashlight, you guys can go to their website and use the discount code that I'm going to post both in the description and a pinned comment. I believe you get 20% off, which is really cool and very nice of them. So if you guys are in the market for a new flashlight, or as I know some of my fans down in Australia call them, torches, go check out Wuben. See what they have to offer, and I don't think you will be disappointed. As I said, I've reviewed another product of theirs, and I really liked it. It's held up over time and has been very useful. So there you go. My tabletop review and unboxing of the Wuben T1 Tactical Flashlight. So let me know, do you guys own any of these Wuben flashlights? If so, what do you think, and how do you think they compare to other major brands of flashlights that everybody knows? Personally, I like it, and I'm pretty impressed. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.